All right, so I'm about to do some valve timing. First off, I want to explain a couple things. Your firing order is going to go 1, 4, 3, 2, right? That's printed right there. So you've got your number 1 spark plug in the back right. Number 2 is the closer to us right. Then you've got your number 4 closest to us on the left, and your number 3 furthest back on the left. And just make sure you trace your spark plugs. For me, I have the number 1 right here, number 4, number 3, and number 2. All right, so right now I've got it at top dead center for the number 1 cylinder. My valves are a little bit out of adjustment, unfortunately. But if you had, if they were right in adjustment, correct, you would be able to pull the valves, the rocker arm, and here, they'd be loose. So these are chromoly push rods. So I don't have any gap, but if you had the stock push rods, it would be 6 thousandths. So use a filler gauge to put in between the valve stem and the rocker arm, and then you would tighten this bolt back. I'll show you more in a second. But so my valves are out of adjustment, but I am on the number 1 cylinder. If you had any doubts or questions, the next cylinder, like I said, would be the number 4, 1, 4, 3, 2. So if you turned it the flywheel, or not the flywheel, delete. If you turn the pulley, use some gloves or something, but turn the pulley clockwise 180 degrees. And for me, it would be a CB Performance little symbol down there. Right now we're top dead center. So once you turn it 180 degrees, then you go over to the number 4 cylinder, closest to us on the left, then those valves should have a little bit of play in them. And then you do the same thing, another 180 degrees. Then the number 3 is gonna have a little play. Another 180, number 2 is gonna have a little play. All right, so like I said, there's a little bit of play in this one if you hear. But there is no gap, visually there is no gap. This one doesn't have any play, so I'm gonna loosen it up. These are a 13 millimeter, I believe that's the stock size as well. They're aftermarket CB Performance lifters. So, loosen this up. I'm gonna take our screwdriver and turn it. All right, so you got play. Tighten up just a little more. So it's just a teeny bit of movement. They're swivel feet right there where the valve stem hits the valve. So I'm going to go with that. And then tighten it right back up. You want to ensure that it doesn't move while you're turning. You can use a wrench. A little bit of play, a little bit of play. But you don't want it to be super tight, even if you are using chromoly push rods, because if you have it a little bit too tight, there's a chance that either your intake exhaust, these guys, or your exhaust valves can be slightly open, and you don't want that. So like I said, just a teeny bit of movement to know that there's nothing pushing it in when it's at top dead center. And now we're just gonna, rotate the crankshaft to, clockwise 180 degrees, and then we're gonna go to number 4. All right, so this side doesn't have any play whatsoever. It's really confusing to me, by the way. I just did this crap. Loosen both of them. far off. Snug it up. And then yeah, so just make sure that, so we're on the number 3 right now. Make sure TDC is pointed straight up along the case-out split. Just to give you a better look, so in between the rocker arm and the valve stem, you would put the feeler gauge in there if you had the standard, I believe, aluminum push rods. When everything's at top dead center for that cylinder, you know, and both valves are loose. And like I said, you would just adjust it to where it's right up against that feeler gauge, tighten it up, and then double check it. It should barely fit in there. You shouldn't be able to get a 7 in there. 7 thousandths, it should be 6 thousandths. But that's it. If you got any questions, please put them in the comments. You know, like the video and subscribe. Thanks.